that I saw on this particular breech block.
You tested
However, they are the last 4 digits of the serial numbers of those particular firearms.
You tested all the firearms in this country.
I tested all the 40 firearms, Your Worship.
Did you find a breech block where the firing pin, the extractor, and the ejector are suddenly matched?
No,
in
Your
another
Worship.
firearm?
No, Your Worship.
Alright. So the reason, the excuse, as I'm saying, for your negative finding on all these particular parts of that breech block, if you are correct in your neck mark, means that the breech block has been changed according to you. Correct?
I am not getting exactly
Let me
that
get
question.
to the point. You say that the only permanent tool or place on this particular firearm that can't be changed was the ejector port marks. Is that correct?
I didn't say that, Your Worship.
You said the ejector is fixed on the frame.
It's on the frame. It's a part of the frame where it goes up.
It cannot be taken off.
It's not taken off, Your Worship. But as I indicated, Your Worship, these parts of these firearms, with the correct tools, you would be able to take everything apart.
Did you in your previous evidence tell us that the reason why the ejector mark doesn't match is because it was a, what did you say, it wasn't sufficient for an analysis? Did you say that?
No, Your Worship, I don't recall that I was asked something.
So why do you now suddenly, in answer to His Worship's question, say that this portion that was permanent on the frame wasn't sufficient for a analysis? When on the last occasion you could not explain why it didn't match.
Your Worship.
Do you understand my question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your Worship, the presence of the ejector mark does not necessarily mean an identification. Hence, I mentioned that the marks on the ejector were so faint that I could not use them I could not make any identification.
Did you say on the last occasion that those marks were so faint that you couldn't make an identification? That's what I want to know.
No, Your Worship, because I was never asked about that.
You were asked.
About the ejector, Your
You
Worship.
were asked about the ejector mark and why was that also negative? And you were told that it's also a permanent part of the firearm and you couldn't answer. So today now you say it's faint.
It's faint, Your Worship.
I explained to you, I even showed you the doppy that you could see this mark with your naked eye.
That was the
remember that?
ejection port mark, Your Worship,
Do you
not the
remember?
ejector mark. We are talking about two different marks, Your
The
Worship.
ejection port.
Ejection port mark, Your
Alright.
Worship.
Now was the ejection port mark similar to the test, on the test and the exhibit?
Your Worship, I could not make any identification on the ejection port mark.
Is the ejection port capable of being changed?
Capable of being changed. As I indicated a few minutes ago, Your Worship, all the parts are capable of being changed with the correct tools.
So what are you now saying? They didn't only change the breech block, they also changed the ejection port.
No, Your Worship, those are not movable parts, Your Worship. The ejection port.
The ejection port mark on the exhibit and the ejection port mark on the test were negative, correct?
No, Your Worship. I did not find any identification on the ejection port marks. I could not say I identify them as negative or identify them as positive.
Why was that?
because they were not enough.
But it is identifiable with the naked eye.
Yes, Your Worship, with the naked eye you see this big dent. However, when you go deeper into individuality, I couldn't.
Let me just get to one last aspect, because this is absolutely astounding. There's no clear requirement, you say, for a standard of a positive identification. That's what you said. As long as you find a mark and you tool mark and you orientate it, or
Your Worship, in terms of the FD identification theory, which mostly we base our theory, any two identifiable marks that you find are enough, Your Worship.
is that what you say? Have you read AFTI carefully? Because what your interpretation and what AFTI's interpretation is two different things. The AFTI standard is that you have to find two marks on separate surfaces given by separate, so example, an ejector and an extractor, or and something else.
Your Worship, it says surface contours.
Well,
That is
I'm going to put it
areas.
to you that you are absolutely wrong, as I did on the last occasion already. Point to you that you have absolutely no idea as to what the standard is required before a positive match can be made.
I don't know if I have to answer.
And I'm going to put it to you, the reason why all the other marks on this fire cartridge case were negative with your test is because the firearm did not fire the exhibit.
I differ, Your Worship. That fired cartridge case was fired in that particular firearm, Your Worship.
That is your opinion,
That was my finding, Your Worship.
your subjective opinion. Correct? Correct.
I don't think I have to answer that, Your Worship.
I have no further questions.
Thank you, Colonel. We have now officially finalized your evidence. You are excused. You may stand up.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Deputies. Okay. Keep in mind, your 5 minutes leads to a 5-minute walk for me. So,
I've got no objection to standing by that much support from this. I'll never get a question. There's no issue. He wants to adjourn until tomorrow. I'll put him on record that there's no issue at all. There isn't that much support time left today when we get to the road shoot and 7 minutes more to
I believe, am I correct to say there's none tomorrow? It hasn't changed. It's So are we suggesting then at this point we postpone until tomorrow? Just one aspect I wanted to check with the state and the defense. In my diary, I've diarized the matter for the week up to Friday, but somehow I've heard that it's only up until tomorrow. Is that only to the 14th, not Friday?
It's only till tomorrow and then it's next week.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So, okay, that's good. All right. Accused 1 and 2. The matter then postponed for further evidence until tomorrow, the 14th of September. Bail extended in respect of accused 1 and 2. You are warned for 8:30. Seemingly we have lights at 9 o'clock, and I'll be sure to be on time. Remember, please, I don't know when you have set up and when the media has set up everything. I'm told they are busy setting up once the court is open. So when you are actually ready, I don't know. My office is a 5-minute walk from here. I don't know when you are ready. If you can please all endeavor to tell me you are ready, then I'll be here immediately. Please. Thank you. If I can carry on this. Thank you.